name is N.Cinerate. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build this 54 chest Copper Golem item sorter in Bedrock Edition. I'll be releasing a version of this for Java in a couple of days, but for now we're going to focus on Bedrock. The Java edition will have a few minor differences, but we'll get to that in that video. When built correctly, this sorting system is fully reliable. It uses no redstone at all. It uses easy to obtain overworld items only. And my favorite thing about it is it uses no minecarts. I don't like them. I'm not a fan of the hassle of using them. You can run this thing without chunk aligning it. As far as any concerns about lag goes, I don't really experience any issues with it. I'm using a box that I got off Amazon about 7 years ago, for $800 in my survival base. I built one of these that uses 192 Copper Golems and no real lag issues. This version of the system, which will be adequate for most of you for quite a while starting out, uses only 72 golems. The system is about as fast as it can be without adding any redstone components into it. I will be putting a demonstration of the thing working later in the video. Keep in mind I'm stress testing it pretty hard at that point, so the amount of time it takes in that scenario is a lot longer than it will take for most sorting situations. There will be a full materials list in the description down below. Any feedback you guys have is welcome and appreciated. Let me know how your experience with this thing is. If you find this build helpful, then don't miss the next one. Smash that like and subscribe button. It helps the channel, and it also makes the algorithm think that I know what I'm doing. Without any further ado, let's get into this thing. Here are all of the items that you will need for this build. I've done you the courtesy of color coding the items by whether or not they are required, recommended, whether they're just temporary blocks, and also just an assortment of possible light blocks you can use. You can use whatever you prefer. Keep in mind the amounts of copper blocks, carved pumpkins, and honeycomb you will need may vary depending on how well you follow the instructions. You can go through a lot more of those materials if you have to decimate and redeploy golems at any point. And on that note, I highly recommend dividing those materials into stacks of 12 before you begin deploying each set of golems. I assure you it will save you a lot of headache. The footprint of this build is going to be 11 blocks wide by 7 blocks deep, and a total of 8 blocks high, accounting for digging 1 block down and leaving enough space above the build for your chests to open. Prep your build area by digging 2 blocks down everywhere except for the front edge, which only needs to be 1 block deep, and then covering all that space with your decorative block of choice. If you're building this in survival, as I'm sure most of you are, it can be really helpful to build yourself a working platform such as the one behind the working area here. I'll show more about that later. Now let's kick this thing off like we're kicking off the head of a golem. Come over here to the front edge of your build and skip the first 2 rows of blocks. Pivot to the left. Make sure you skip 2 blocks this way, and on the 3rd block will be the starting point for your build. Start placing down your sorting chests. You're going to make this 9 rows deep and 6 blocks high. If you've been looking for your lost hopes and dreams, try checking in some of these chests. Maybe you'll find them. With your main block of chests set up in place, come to the top row of chests and put another double chest facing forward at the end here. That's going to be your main input chest for the system. Then right here you're going to put yourself another double chest, and that will be the main output chest for the system. Come around to the back side. Now you're going to get yourself some temporary blocks that we'll place in for placeholders. We're working with 9x9 modules, right about like that. And in the center you need to place a placeholder block where your copper golems will be standing. Then place another temporary block above that one, and then come down and to the right and place one more temporary block. Match that on all modules. The next thing in order is we're going to place in some chains. On this bottom row of temporary blocks, put one chain on the left side of these. Those are going to be the chains that your golems will stand on. Then for the next two rows, place chains everywhere there is not a temporary block. Skip this row right here, but leave these temporary blocks in place. Go ahead and place chains on these next two rows. Once you're done setting your chains in place, get yourself some slabs, and we're going to put one upper slab on each of the spots where your copper golems will be spending their existences. And then you can proceed to break out all of the temporary blocks except for these three right here, leaving your slabs in place. Your setup so far should now look like this. Placing in our output chests for each module is our next order of business. So come to the right side of your build, and starting on this chain right here, go ahead and place in a double chest. Come back to this module here and put one right here underneath that temporary block, and do the same for this temporary block right here. You'll want to come up to the top of your build and put output chests facing the opposite direction, just like this. The view from the back should now look like this, like an intricate playground for copper golems, except not fun. In the materials list, I included a single copper chest that you would need to bring along for this build. If you don't have this in place before you begin putting in your copper golems, it's going to be very frustrating. So grab that copper chest and put this one in right over here. It's going to be just to the left of where this upper slab is, on the right side of your build. Just set this one copper chest in right here. The rest of the copper chest you will need for this build will come when you generate your golems. With that in place, we can go ahead and head up and start building chutes for our copper golems to be deployed through. Starting on the middle chest for each module, build a 3-block high tower of blocks. And then also place a 3-block high tower on the chains that are in front of those pillars. Do this for all of your golem drop chutes. Now take some slabs, and you need to cover the front of your chutes with upper slabs. Trust me, lower slabs aren't going to work here. And there's your golem drop zone all prepped and ready to go. Let's get our first set of golems in place. Come over to this chest here, stand on it, and you're going to place your copper blocks on this block here. Your carved pumpkin will go here. As they stand there, you can go ahead and wax them, and then once they're waxed, break the chest under this block here. If done correctly, you shouldn't have any issues with golems desynchronizing. Copper block, carved pumpkin, wax, break. Copper block, carved pumpkin, wax, break. Do this for 12 golems. With your first set of golems deployed, we can go ahead and drop back down and pick up the copper chest that we should have waiting for us down here. There should be some down here as well. And once you have those, you can place a chain in above their heads and one chain against this block here, and go ahead and break that temporary block for now. Head back upstairs and deploy your next set of golems. copper, pumpkin, wax, break. Just like before, repeat for 12 golems. Once all 12 are dropped, once again you should have a bunch of copper chests waiting downstairs for you. Go ahead and grab them up. And now we have enough chests to finish putting in our input chests. So let's go ahead and complete that now. Put a second copper chest on that double chest just to complete it. Then come over here and place in your input chest for this module. Now would be a good time to wax these chests if you don't want them oxidizing. It's up to you. Once those are done, come on up and do the ones for your upper modules. At this point in your build, this is what you should be looking at from the back side. I'm not 100% it's necessary, but it doesn't hurt anything to have the chests facing the module they belong to. Before we proceed putting any more golems in place, let's go ahead and complete our input out system with hoppers. So come to the back of this copper chest here and place in your hoppers. 2 hopper lines running this way. Make sure that you're placing the hoppers into the correct line. All the way out to the bottom of your input chest. And then connect them to your output chest this way. After that, we'll come over and we'll place hopper lines going from our output chests for each module into the input chest for the next module. On this end of your build, you're going to want to run hoppers, 2 hopper lines running from the upper output chest down to the input chest for the modules down below. And then connect your output chest to your input chest just like you did above. Here's what you should be looking at with the completed input-output system. Double check the hopper flow on your main input and output system. Your output chest hopper lines should look like this. And this is what your upper hopper input lines should look like. With that much being done, we can go back up and put in the rest of our copper golems for our lower modules. Make sure you just do your 12 lower ones first. So drop 12 golems down each of these 2 chutes. Once you're done dropping those, you can come back down to the lower part of your build, pick up your chests, and then go ahead and put chains in above these golems' heads. Place copper chains against these 2 blocks here. Break out those temporary blocks now. Then come on back up to the top of your build and place in your last 2 sets of golems. Once you've dropped your last golem in place, you can go ahead and break out all these temporary blocks for your chutes now. Then place chains in the remaining open spots above your golems. You're also done with this working platform if you built one. So go ahead and break that out if you like. I recommend it. Boys and girls, this is what I like to call the keys to the kingdom. As long as you've dropped all of your golems in place and they are synchronized as they should be if you followed instructions correctly. Now come up to your upper modules. And once you get near these golems, you're going to want to give them a little nudge. Don't hit them. Just come up to them and either walk into them or just give them a little hop jump and push them towards their copper chest along that chain. That will keep the output chest that they use the furthest chest from them, therefore the last chest that they refer to all the time. Do this for all of your upper modules. And if you were to actually make a mistake like this and nudge them in the wrong direction to where they're towards the output chest, it's not that big of a deal. You can make a little pillar here to come up and walk in along their chains and just nudge them in the correct direction. For your lower golems, it's just a slightly more involved process. Just dig yourself down a little pathway to get underneath your golems. You'll need to break the block directly underneath their chain, then come in and just give them a little nudge towards their copper chest. This really is all it takes to keep them from skipping chests and to make this their last resort chest always. Chains work because it keeps them centered on the axis that's going that direction, and then your little nudge puts them at the furthest point along the opposite axis. Do this for all of your lower golems. One more time, make sure that your golems are pushed towards the copper chest for their module. And with that, you're essentially done with the mechanical part of your build. I recommend putting in some light source blocks back here somewhere to keep hostile mobs from spawning. I also like to put some slabs up across these hoppers just to keep stray items from dropping in. Then you're going to come down to the front side of your build and put yourself in some item frames on all your sorting chests. If you're unfamiliar with sorting systems in general or how Copper Golems sort items, there are a lot of YouTube videos out there that'll explain how that works. I would recommend watching some. And with that, your Copper Golem item sorter is complete. I'm going to walk over here and show you a completed build. It's already all set up. I've got my categories set up the way I want them. I will give a demonstration of this thing in action in a moment. There you have it, the 54 chest Copper Golem item sorter. Reliable, redstone free, minecart free, little golems putting stuff where it goes, like they should. Once again, do me a solid and hit me with a like and a subscribe, and I'll do you one back and keep making more content. Happy building, everybody. Okay, boys and girls, so I promised you a demonstration of this thing working at the end of the tutorial. So here I'm going to go ahead and show you that I have a sorting system pre-arranged with a variety of items all through here. I have at least 2 items per sorting chest. Typically you're going to have a lot more than that, so the sorting system will naturally be faster due to that alone. And you can see here that we are starting out with nothing in our input chest. nor do we have anything in our output chest. I have preloaded these 3 chests with a little bit of everything that I have arranged in the sorting system. In this small chest here on this bottom row, I have unsortable items. They are the only items that I will be putting into the sorter that don't have a home. Therefore, they should be the only items that end up in the output chest. All said and done, it is going to be a rare occasion where you put an assortment of items mixed and matched into the sorting system in this manner. It is not normally going to take this long to sort your items. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video so we don't all grow old and die waiting on this demo. There is no way I can put all these things into the system at once. My input chest will get overloaded very quick. So let's see what we ended up with in our output chest. Lo and behold, it is only the items that are supposed to be in the output chest, which is a testament to the golems not skipping any chests. All said and done though, with the stress test that I just put it under, it did take about 41 minutes to go through all items. And I'll just open up some of these chests and show that items ended up where they belong. And all of the villagers said, huh? Not gonna get too crazy with it. I'm gonna leave it up to you to build your own system. Do it like I showed you. Follow the instructions correctly and rejoice in your new sorting system. See you next time.